If you wonder why your hair isn't growing, feels dry, or just doesn't look as good as it could, it's probably because you're making one of these really common hair care mistakes. But you're not alone. Don't worry. We've all been there making one or all of these mistakes, including myself. And we just don't realize how damaging these mistakes are causing to our hair and our hair growth and our hair health overall. So today I'm going to break down the most common hair care mistakes and how we can fix them. So let's get into it. But first, if you're new, hi, I'm Annie, and my job on the internet is to make your hair your favorite accessory. So let's go. Number one is thinking that these less hot tools that are being promoted to us time and time again are going to be better than just like a regular hot tool and are safer for your hair. But like, let's be real, even if it's 365 degrees, 365 degrees is hot, okay? Hot is hot, and you're still putting heat on your hair. So while, yes, the Dyson and the Shark are really great tools, they're still producing heat. So you don't need these tools. They are helpful, yada, yada. But anytime you put any kind of heat on your hair, you need to be using a heat protectant. So don't fall for these like really expensive things. You can just use your regular $20 Conair curling iron like I do and just use a heat protectant, okay? And most heat protectant that you buy at the store is going to be fine and effective. You don't need to go out and buy a really expensive one. Some of my favorites are the Living Proof, the Beach Waver, the Day one, and the Tresemme one. I personally like an aerosol because I can like spread it. It can get like more surface area of my hair quicker, but just use whatever you have and whatever you can find. Number two is not using heat strategically or to your benefit, okay? So while yes, heat is bad for your hair, it also sometimes is really beneficial and needed for certain hair types for your hair to look good so you don't feel like you have to wash it all the time or, you know, use heat every single day. You need to do it more strategically, okay? Once again, use a heat protectant and use it, I would say, every few days. So if you can go longer between your hair washes, then like style your hair with heat on Monday, wait Wednesday. Oh wait, that's not the right. Tuesday, Wednesday, and then do it again on Thursday. So just go between how long you can go with your heat styling, but you can still use heat, okay? We want our hair to look good. We still want to live our lives and feel pretty, and you can do that with heat, but using heat responsibly and to your advantage. Number three is using terrible hair ties. Okay, I don't think they make the hair ties that are like the black and have the metal anymore. Remember back in the day when you'd take them out and they'd rip your hair out? We didn't know anything about like hair health back then, which is like crazy, but don't use those. Same with those like black powdery ones that are like small that people use for like hairstyles. Those aren't that good either. Now, I do love clear hair elastics for hairstyles and hairstyling, but you do need to be really careful when taking those out because those can rip out your hair and break them. I have a whole video of how you can use them and take them out safely and effectively without breaking your hair, so I'll link that here. But let's replace those with some good alternative hair ties for different needs and different hairstyles, different hair types. Okay, so my favorites are the ones that I use the most like day to day are these nylon ones. You can get them from Kitsch or from Amazon. I'll link both options down below. I love them. They're super stretchy. Also, these like coily ones from like Invisibobble and Telly Ties. These are really good. They don't create a crease in your hair if you use them correctly. So because they're like coily, they kind of grip your hair a little bit better. So you only really need to like wrap it twice. If you wrap it more, then they're gonna stretch out and they're gonna create a crease. But their purpose is just to kind of go like this and hold it. So if you're gonna do an intense workout, probably not this one. But I'll leave those linked down below as well. And then also you need satin and or silk scrunchies. These are great for sleeping at night and just for like a more protective style. They just slip really nicely through your hair. And Slip has some, those are expensive, but you can also find really great ones off Amazon. So I'll link some of those down below. 4 is shampooing incorrectly. Shampoo is designed for our scalp, not our ends. So make sure that you are shampooing really well at your scalp, getting a good cleanse, rinsing it off. I'll leave a scalp video down below just for more scalp health benefits. But if you're putting it on your ends, you don't need to, okay? People say like, oh, don't our ends need shampooing? Well, when you rinse it off, it goes down and it's fine. If you're doing a regular wash schedule, you're not having buildup on your hair and you're fine. 5 is avoiding silicones completely, okay? We need silicones for our hair to be healthy. Silicones protect a protective barrier. People are like, oh, it leaves a film, it leaves like buildup. Well, that's its job, okay? So it helps us to detangle our hair better and more effectively so there isn't breakage. And also, like, think of like when your hair's down, it gets caught on things, okay? And if it doesn't have that slip to it, it can get caught on like a fabric and break off if your hair is damaged, or even if it isn't damaged. So we do need silicones, okay? And the formulations of these products, like, they're not here to destroy our hair, okay? No matter what people think, silicones are fine. You need them, which leads me into number 6, which is that sulfates are bad. Sulfates are needed to be a cleansing agent for your scalp so that we can have healthy hair growth, okay? Scalp care is so important, and sulfates are so important to wash our hair, okay? Now, if you have to wash your hair every day because you have, I don't know, your lifestyle or really oily scalps, sometimes the sulfates are a little harsh, so maybe go from sulfate and then the next time use a sulfate-free one. It's just like a less intense cleaning agent. But if you do have an oily scalp, you probably do need to have some pretty good sulfates. But if you have a drier scalp and it's more sensitive to those sulfates, then, you know, do what you got to do, but, you know, sulfates are not the enemy. 7 is skipping hair repair treatments after coloring. Now, whether you bleach your hair or you dye your hair usually does end up dry because of just the process that it goes through when it gets colored. Okay, but making sure that you are taking care of it afterwards is super important for hair health. So if you go and bleach your hair, you need to make sure that you have like a bond repair system or treatment that you can use afterwards to help rebuild those bonds. There's so many out there, K18, there's the L'Oreal one, Dove, all this kind of stuff, okay? And then if you're dyeing your hair, you need to make sure that you're using a hydrating mask so that you can build back up that hydration. And then after, you know, you feel like your hair is at a decent spot, then just like use it when you feel like you need it. The same with the bond repair or the hair mask, all that kind of stuff. Also, if you do bleach your hair, you need a hair mask. Also keep in mind that regular conditioners and hair masks are essentially doing the same thing. It's just a matter of which formulation your hair tolerates better. So like my hair is like more thick and coarse. My hair really likes a hair mask, whereas somebody with finer hair probably just likes to use a simple normal shampoo on the regular.
Editing Annie coming in. Sorry I look so rough, but I realized I missed a point, and that is number 8, doing wet slick back hairstyles. Slick back in general hairstyles aren't good because they just pull at your hairline, but when your hair is wet, it's stretchy. So think of it like when you're doing your hair and it's wet, you're pulling it and it's stretchy. It dries and it goes back to its form. It's breaking off. So just avoid doing them when they're wet, when your hair's wet. If you want to do a slick back hairstyle, I recommend using products like a style cream, the day cream, or gels or anything like that to get the look of a slick back without pulling super tight and without having wet hair. So I just had to make sure I got that one in.
9 is drying your hair with a regular towel, okay? Let me tell you, I still go to the hair salon, I mean only twice a year, but they still take a towel and go like this, and it drives me nuts. Like every time I'm like, okay? I still do use a regular towel when I get out to kind of like squeeze out the extra water, and then I put my hair in a microfiber towel, okay? And I put it in there until pretty much like the towel itself is soaked, and then I take it out. But because a microfiber towel is so important is because it is just more gentle on your hair, and it helps absorb the water faster, and so you're drying your hair faster, getting it out of its most fragile state faster, okay? And then also, like when you're getting out of the shower, do not run your hair and wring it out. Just like wring it out in sections so that your hair isn't ripping and snapping as you're getting out the excess water, okay? Just a bonus tip. I personally have, I think it's called like a Queese. I don't know. I got it off of Amazon. I'll link it down below, but I've also heard amazing things about the Crown Affair hair towel. Kitsch has some, and then there's some on Amazon that I'll link it down below. Okay, using a wide tooth comb to detangle your wet hair. I am guilty of this. I still do this, okay? Because most of the time I can't find my wet brush anywhere because my daughter has taken it. So I will just be detangling my hair dry or wet with a wide tooth comb. But honestly, it isn't good because those wide tooth combs are so, what is the word, stiff, that like when you get to a knot, like, and if you rip it out, I don't do that, but if you rip it out, there's no like flex like a wet brush or one of those brushes with more flexible bristles give when it hits a little knot. Honestly, you should be detangling with your fingers if there's a huge knot, and then you can go in with like a wet brush or whatever. But try to avoid using a wide tooth comb. This tip is mainly for myself, okay? But also I have done some research and heard that those brushes with like the little balls at the end aren't the best for preventing breakage and helping with detangling. You should probably be looking for a brush that still has the flexible regular bristles, but also boar bristles to help with detangling and preventing breakage. Like the Crown Affair has one, Dry Bar, and of course I think it's the Mason Pearson that's like so astronomically expensive. But if you are in the market for a new hairbrush, I would probably recommend one of those. But also a wet brush is great. You can get them for super cheap, and I'll link some. I've gotten mine from Marshall's. 11 is not washing your hairbrushes. Okay, now this is like, you gotta think of like your scalp like your face and your tools like your makeup tools, okay? We wash our makeup brushes, but we need to be washing our hairbrushes. Think of like all the product, all the gunk, all the oil, all the dead skin, everything like that that's on your hairbrush. And if your hair is clean and you're brushing it, you're just getting your hair dirtier faster. So, and that leads to washing your hair more and more hair damage, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so wash your hairbrushes. You wanna make sure you get all of the hair out and use like, get those fuzzies off, and then just use like a shampoo or a dish soap, wash it, rinse it out really well, and then flip it upside down so that the water doesn't like get into the hairbrush. So this is a tool from Kitsch that you can just like, sorry, I probably should clean my brush. You can get out the hair like this, and you can also scrub it to get like all the fuzzies and the other stuff that's like down here. But this is a really great tool. I think it's like $14. Maybe you can find one cheaper on Amazon, but I'll link it down below. But wash your hairbrushes. 12 is detangling without product, okay? So this is really important because you don't want to go in and raw dog with your like wet hair. Yes, you put conditioner in it, hopefully, but you also need to get a leave-in conditioner, okay? Everybody needs a leave-in conditioner in their hair care routine, but they help to detangle. They usually have some sort of silicone or protective barrier, which is so important for preserving the lengths of your hair because your hair is dead. So making sure that you have something to help with brushing and the slip of your hair so that you can detangle it better. When you do this, you want to make sure that you are lifting and spraying your leave-in conditioner on all of your hair. Don't just go, okay, lift it up, spray, lift it around. You know, you want to coat as much, well, you really want to cover all of your hair and get as much of that product in your hair as possible to help detangle and to keep preventing it from breakage. Okay, if you already have damaged hair, this is like the most crucial step for you. My favorite leave-in conditioner is, I love the Pureology 21, the Way leave-in, and then there's also what is it called? The L'Oreal. I think it's like the dupe for the Pureology one at the drugstore. I'm personally using one called Sauce. I'll also leave it down below, which I've actually really been liking. I put it on, I'm like, oh, this is doing anything, but like my hair is like really soft as of late. So that's kind of a new fave. 13 is not using a shower cap. Now, I don't personally use this. Now, I don't personally do this, mainly because I don't feel like it affects my hair as much. But when you are in the shower and you have your hair up and you're just doing like a body shower, the humidity can still affect your hair, causing like the style to obviously like go flat or frizz your hair. But also like the water kind of like bouncing off, you know, all angles can affect your style and make you have to like either wash your hair or put more heat on it, all that kind of stuff. So if you find that that is an issue, get a shower cap, but make sure that it is a terry lined cap so that the humidity doesn't affect your hair. I'll leave some linked down below. Like I said, I don't personally do this one, but this is a really good rule or something to implement if you find that after you take a body shower, your hair is kind of affected. Okay, I'm gonna just run through these last one. 14 is misusing products. Okay, so a lot of people are like, oh, this product sucks, it didn't work for me. Well, most of the time it's user error. We don't understand how to use certain products before we're using them. Therefore, we think that when we use them, they're not doing anything good for our hair. So we need to make sure that you are researching. Just go to YouTube, go on their website. They usually tell you exactly how to use it. A good example is bond repair treatments like K18. Think of like the think of the Olaplex buns. You're supposed to have your hair wet and then apply these bond repair treatments. People were just putting Olaplex in their dry hair, letting it sit, and it was doing nothing. Okay, so when people are like, it didn't work, well, it's because you weren't using it correctly. So you need to make sure that when you are using a product that either is new and you never researched, you look it up. And so make sure if you are using a new product or anything like that, look it up first. Going along with that, number 15 is misusing coconut oil. Coconut oil is really good for your hair. It can help with like the bonds and like water retention and hydration and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes the like straight coconut oil that you cook with is too much and too heavy for honestly pretty much a lot of people's hair. It's hard to get out. If you use too much, it's really easy to overdo it. So misusing it. Also, you don't want to use it on your scalp. Okay, unless it is a formulation that has coconut oil that's formulated for your scalp, because it can be really, it can clog your pores and it's just like not good. It is really great to apply before shampooing so that your hair doesn't swell as much and take in as much water to help with preventing like drying out. It's also really great for after the shower to hold in that moisture that your hair needs. But make sure that you look for a formulation that is designed for this. OGX Abby Young always recommends this product and this brand for this particular purpose, the before and the after the shower. So check those out. I just wouldn't recommend getting like extra virgin coconut oil and just like going on your hair. Do some research, but if you purchased it from the store, it's probably going to be okay to use in your hair. Just like, once again, look up how to use it. Last but not least is using too many products, okay? Simple is better and like less is more when it comes to anything. Makeup, skincare, and hair care, okay? So really all you need, and this is what I have, okay? I have a shampoo, a conditioner / mask. Sometimes I will also use like a bond repair leave-in, a leave-in conditioner, a hair oil, and a scalp oil. That is like at most of what I use. You don't need to do all of these trending things if you don't feel like you need to, okay? If your hair is in a good place, but you want to try a little bit something extra, like a scalp oil, and because your hair is like a little bit dry or anything like that, yes, try it, but you don't need it, okay? I've dabbled a little bit in scalp oils, but my scalp isn't super dry, so I'm like, I don't really know if I need it, but I want to see if it'll help with like the rest of my hair, because usually when you do a scalp oil, it like goes for the rest of your hair depending on the product. But don't feel like you need all of these products, okay? Simple is better because you're going to stick to it. You're going to use the products if it is more like time effective, and you're going to save a lot more money. So I need to know, how many of these mistakes are you making? It's okay, let me know. Like I said, some of them I don't do and some of them I still do, but you know, it's all about learning and figuring things out together. So if you liked this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye guys.